Update 22 is just around the corner, and we're going to be showing the first look, the sneak peeks of the two talented units coming to the game. So Vampire as well as Portal Mage. Portal Mage is not only getting talents, but also getting a rework, and Vampire is getting some extraordinary talents where I genuinely think not only is it going to be the best mana production card, but potentially one of the better support cards, doing damage, doing debuffs, doing stun, doing all and mana, of course. There's a lot to unpack here, and I know this is going to be a longer video, but I think you guys are going to love it. So fellas, grab your coffee, grab your device, and let's head on down to Game by the Beach. Welcome back once again. We're going to be jumping right into the sneak peeks for update 22. There's a lot of them, so we're not going to be able to get through every single thing in today's video, but do not worry. We're going to be breaking them down into separate videos. And today, of course, because I thought the first and foremost that we should be showcasing is the talents for our teleport. It's called Portal Mage, even though I call it Portal Keeper more often than not, as well as talents on Vampire. But as you can see, if you can look at my screen right here, we've got Red Riding Hood, as well as all the other modifiers and different things that we're collecting, and Dragon Rift changes and everything like that. That's at the top of the screen, so definitely stay tuned for future videos. It's going to be the next day and the next day and the next. They're all going to come out at pretty much at the same time, one day after another. I just don't have time to go down every little thing within one video. So here we go. We're going to be talking about the Teleport Mage, which cracks me up because it's obviously just a translation thing, unless they decided to change what the Teleport Mage is called. See, no, they didn't, okay, because it says Portal Mage right there. Let's talk about Portal Mage. Here we go. Okay, so when attacking has a chance, can I pause? Yes, I can. When attacking has a chance of transferring common monsters within a small radius to the portal. Okay, when merging, transfers bosses at most once, and mini bosses along with a few of the other monsters in the front. After transfer, all monsters deal area damage within a small radius. Any monsters summoned by players are now transferred. So that's a big change, right? So Portal Mage got a little bit of a rework, but he's also getting talents, okay? So you can see the things right here. Chance to teleport, area damage that he's going to be doing, number of monsters depending on how leveled up he is. I think that's really, really great, and you can see how they change the attack interval as well as the number of monsters that gets transferred. It's going to show all the differences. So actually, mana leveling up matters more than just chance, but also in damage. Good to know. And I'm assuming that they're going to show the talents as well once we get there. Is there no sound? Where's the sound out? Is there? Maybe there's no sound in it. There could just be no sound. Okay, so here we go. Did I already miss one? Hold on. So we've got Hard Landing. Now we're into the talents. Finally into the talents, okay? And don't worry, okay? We're going to be going into gameplay next. So we're going to talk about what the talents are for Portal Mage. I believe there's a clip of Portal Mage's right talents, as well as a clip for the left talents, and then the same thing for Vampire. So this could be a long video, but I think that's probably the best way to go about it. So Hard Landing. Instead of standard area damage, all teleported monsters except for bosses and mini bosses now deal damage within range equal to 2.2% of the teleported monster's current health. Okay, that's interesting. Teleported or warped monsters will give 20% more mana. Like that's kind of like a demo. That's empowering. Okay, vulnerability. Teleported monsters take 20% more critical damage. Critical damage will be 20% less. Okay, thorough time. Now we're talking about a bigger paragraph. I got a speed read here. And now we're into the good ones. So the best part about this update, in my opinion, is the fact that the talents are coming to epic cards. And they have the potential of coming into the meta and actually being useful and actually changing some of the decks, changing some of the favorites within these decks, okay? So the fact that these are the 13 talents should make them more powerful, more strong, right? And more worthwhile. And everyone pretty much should be able to attain them. It's not like it's a level 13 legendary that I'm never going to touch with a 10-foot stick because it's an event legendary. It's never going to happen. It's level 13. I think my Portal Mage is a level 11, My vampire, I'm pretty sure, is it might be max, might be 12. They're all in that same range. If I wanted to put the gold towards it, I could. And I could max them out if I really want to. But here we go. Through time. All teleported monsters rapidly age after the teleport. Their defense decreases by 25%. Okay. And their speed decreases by 30%. Warped monsters on the opponent's side becomes younger. Their defense increases by 25%, and the speed increases by 30%. That's really interesting. And the portal net, when merging the portal mage... Bruh. All right, well, can I at least pause that? Okay. Portal healer. We'll have to go back. I don't want to go back because then it like messes everything up. It's okay. Portal healer. This is the big one. When a boss or mini boss is teleported, a portal healer is summoned to the opponent's side, who restores 2.5% of max health to monsters within a small radius every 3 seconds. When he dies, the portal healer restores 7% of lost HP to monsters. Only works in PvP. So that's really, really cool. Let's jump on out of this and get in on the first example of the talent. So this is going to be left side talents here, and let's get right into it. Okay, only 5 minutes. That's actually really good for us. So let's, how's that look? Does that look all right? That looks like it looks pretty good. Okay, here we go. So we have our max portal keeper. Can I zoom out and just see if there's sound? Hold on. There's no sound. I apologize. Okay. I already looked before, but I wanted to look again. Okay, now we're back in. Let's check out this Portal Mage. So I think the big change here is the fact that with Portal Mage, it now summons monsters. Well, okay, technically it doesn't summon monsters. It summons monsters on your opponent's board, but it just sends them from your board, which I think is really cool. It also activates off of merging. So now Portal Mage is more of a merge card and has just a bunch of different abilities. So let's try and keep track of what's going to be happening in this game and see what Portal Mage is doing. It also does damage in a small radius. I think all of these additions, changes are excellent. Portal Mage was borderline. Here we go. Here's a merge. Okay, he did do a merge, so it transferred a few. You could hardly ever notice it, right? It's wave 1. If I sent a Demonologist in wave 1 to my opponent's board, they're going to take it out immediately, right? You're almost never going to see it. It's never going to change. But here, you can actually see a little bit of the debuff. He's holding on for dear life to wait. So he spammed something over there. Wow, we got switched on that one. Why is our damage so low, boy? Now we don't have any Portal Mages. Did level our stuff up. We're going up against Roadster here. He has a level 4, or he's upgraded his Boreas to 4. We're only got our Boreas to 2. Was that a different boss right there, or was that Amari? What the heck was that? There was like a pumpkin thing. Okay, that's got to be something that we haven't discussed yet, but we're going to learn about in a coming video, so stay tuned for that. That'll be pretty cool. I don't know, maybe I'll even just put these out as soon as I can, right? I mean, you have to wait for permission or whatever, but I'll try to push them out in succession. Maybe I won't even wait multiple days. I'll just like put them all out at the same time, because you guys want to see the stuff. You want to see the stuff, man. I get it. But fellas, if you are enjoying this video, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, like the video. If you want to help support the channel, there's 2 best ways to do so. You can go through My Games. If you're going to be making any in-game purchases, go through My Games, use code BEACH. The link is in the description. You're going to get a 10% discount on the premium pass, but you're also just going to be able to buy anything that you want that's in the Royale store through the My Game store, but at the same time, getting a discount and supporting your favorite content creator. And guys, the second best way to support our channel is by checking out our TikTok. We are making videos on TikTok nowadays, and we work really hard on them, and I think they're really cool, and I think you'll enjoy them. They're highlights of our typical videos. So go check them out if you haven't already. Hit that follow over there, and I'll love you forever. And even if you don't, I'll still love you forever, but it's going to be fine. Okay, 13 seconds here. We got Tribunal. It's super weird watching this without any sound. It's making my ears like want to pop or something, but that's fine. We do have to, I mean, we're not doing very well. You can't lose showcasing Portal Mage. Although, you know what? I mean, if I was on the ladder playing this deck with Portal Mage against that deck with Shaman, I feel like your Shaman player probably has a leg up. Werewolf. Okay, so we now have a different boss coming up. A totally different boss coming up. I've never heard of werewolf. I thought werewolf was from, like, the Red Riding Hood. I saw, like, a little bit of a snippet of how Red Riding Hood turns into a wolf. I guess they're just doing this stuff because of, it's Halloween. We're waiting for Halloween. Duh, Garrett, right? So we've got vampire, Halloween. Portal mage, maybe like a magician, like a wizard. Kind of Halloween-esque. Red Riding Hood, Halloween. Werewolf, Halloween. Okay. This is Halloween. This is Halloween. Halloween. We're still listening to tropical music out here, so it's fine. 36 seconds. We're rocking trainer. Yeah, why does our opponent look so much better than us? Ooh, maybe it's because we want to show off how powerful the comeback is. Don't call it a comeback. Yeah, I'm not gonna call it. I'm not gonna call it a comeback. There's the pumpkin. Look at the pumpkin. Pretty cool. Here comes our shaman. Yeah, our pumpkin froze. Whoa. It froze one of our units and then, like, erased it. And I'm actually more interested to be able to see what is werewolf gonna do. But fellas, we really haven't seen almost anything from our portal mage in this game. So if we merge those, it sends it back and it sends a HP. Okay. I'm actually really surprised that they didn't add in the talent of you're already sending monsters to your opponent's board, from your board to your opponent. It's a portal. That's like the whole point, right? Monsters are already coming through a portal. So it would make a ton of sense for a portal mage to send your current monsters through a portal to your opponent's portal. But that's not actually what the last talent is. I think that would have been really cool if that's what the talent is, but probably way too powerful, right? Maybe you could, like, send it if it gets down below, like, 5% of the HP that the original boss had or something like that. But yeah, that final talent, if you do a merge with that final talent when you have a boss, you'll send something that's replenishing the HP of your opponent's boss, but you're not actually sending anything that way. But either way, that was the left side talents. We're now into the right side talents. Once again, I think this is going to be a relatively long video, but we're still going to go through all of it. Okay, we're still going to go through all of the portal mage. Have I been saying portal keeper? I apologize. Portal mage talents, and then we got to do this all again with vampire. Okay, and this is the first time I'm seeing any of this, so it's good for me to see as well. But once again, the things that are jumping out at me are, for instance, that fact that we have a boss coming called Werewolf, and that we have these random pumpkins that are popping up and stealing units off our board. We're now going up against a guy that's got Sharpshooter and Bombardier. We're rocking the same deck with Hex. I wonder what the thought process is to have Hex in this deck with Portal Mage. Really have no idea. I guess the pumpkin might just be it's kind of like a debuff mini boss. I guess that's kind of all it is, which is kind of cool. Something a little bit different. That guy's rocking Trickster, so a lot of those things that I thought were Mari probably weren't Mari now that I'm looking at it. But yeah, so you can merge some. Let's do a merge. It's about to do one. Okay, it sent a couple to his board. It did some damage on our board. It never shows, like, the end of the battle, so it's never going to really tell you how much damage you did. Try to take out Werewolf. So you are able to take out Werewolf before it triggers. I think that's something that's really important to know. I feel like that's always the first thing I want to know about one of those new bosses. About a new boss. I don't know, whatever you want to say. Because if it's something that triggers right away, you got to be really well aware of it and, hit your... I almost always have J. Hit my J to take that out as immediate lay. Right, Oliver? Right, Bubs? You want to say hi to the camera? He's just looking at me. Hey, buddy. All right. Oh, we're actually winning this time. Finally. Well, my man has like 80 Bombardiers on his board for absolutely no reason. Poor Bombardier. Remember when Bombardier was like legit? He was a dog. Now he stinks. The only thing he was good at was stunning and pausing bosses. Now he doesn't even do that. That's kind of sad. But it looks like we're going to take this out. Yeah. As you guys probably can imagine, I'm not the one playing these clips. If I was, I would definitely be showcasing a little bit more merging and like examples of exactly what's happening with your portal mage. But those are the 2 clips. Okay, let's jump into vampire here and talk about, I got an Oliver hair in my mouth, talk about the changes that are upcoming. All right, and here we go. Vampire. I gotta look in one of my new videos, where we're at in vampire. I know we're over 12. I like vampire. I think it's a really cool card. I like the idea of it like biting and like activating. Okay, here we go. Pause. Hold on. Okay. Which one are we on right now? Let's try and actually be really careful about our pause game here and talk about all the vampire talents, okay? Because they didn't rework vampire like they reworked portal mage, so it still works the same, okay? It still handles the same. He still plays the same. It has no other skills per se, except for the talents, of course. Okay, so neighboring empowerment. The vampire can now bite any units of the same merge rank or lower. Cool. When bitten, the target unit becomes empowered for 15 seconds, increasing its damage to monsters bitten by 15% for every rank of the vampire that bit it. Okay. After 2 biting, the vampire cannot bite units for 20 seconds with rank increase. The time decreases by 1 second. Okay, that's a lot of words. I got to figure out a little bit more of how that works, but I love that idea that you can use the vampire, drag the vampire to bite a unit to empower him. It's almost that, I wonder how much of a benefit it will do for that. How long is the duration? Fit for 15 seconds. Am I doing that on a banner lord? Am I doing that when bosses show up? Is that going to replace why I use J? I don't know. All questions that we'll have to stay tuned. Blood Rage. The vampire can now bite any units of the same merge rank or lower. When bitten, the target unit loses a merge rank. When the vampire becomes empowered for 22 seconds, when it starts attacking the first target, the unit's damage and attack speed increase by 280%, and the unit has a 65% chance of dealing area damage. You're reducing it, though? I don't see people using that. I mean, that's a big percent, 280, but the fact that your merge rank is, like, unbelievably important. I guess if you're, like, going from a rank 2 to a rank 1, back and forth, I don't know. Hungry Swarm. When biting a unit, the vampire releases a flock of bats that fly over all monsters, dealing damage equal to 1% of the monster's current health and draining mana equal to 10% of the cost of the bitten monsters. That's pretty cool. I like that. These are all such interesting talents. I love it. I think these are really good. I always skip one. I'm trying to pause. Okay. Unbearable Thirst. It's probably the same thing. Instead of damage, you're getting more mana, I would assume. Okay. Poisonous Bite. The vampire's damage becomes poison damage. All bitten monsters take poison damage increased by 35%. I've kind of had a feeling that they're really trying to push Earth Elemental, who boosts poison damagers. So let's see. Vampire damage becomes poison damage. All bitten monsters take poison damage increased by 35%. Does that mean that it's making everybody who gets bitten poison damage also? Because Earth Elemental is going to be a hot commodity out here. Okay. And I've got mine at, I think mine's at 13. I've been working hard to try and get it up. Get the Earth Elemental leveled up. Blood Bond. The armor of bitten monsters decreases by 10% and by another 10% for each empowered unit, but cannot decrease more than 30%. Okay, so that's kind of cool. Decreasing the armor, I think, is worthwhile. And then the final talent, Becoming a Lord. Once every 20 seconds, a random vampire will become a Lord when a unit is bitten. The Lord raises a... oh, yeah, I forgot about reading the white in front of the opponent's first monster. The white speeds up neighboring monsters by 20%. Once the white is summoned, the vampire loses the Lord's status. In co-op mode, the white appears at the beginning of the path and slows down monsters. We're going to have to see how that works. I believe that's all of them, so let's just go out of this. As you can see at the top of the screen, what we just read is Riding Hood characteristics. Wrong. It's okay. Here we go. Now we're going to talk about the left side talents. Vampire. I'm honestly way more excited about the vampire talents than I am portal mage talents. I just think they're going to be more applicable, and I think the artwork is super cool. And what did I say? Earth Elemental in here. What did I say? I'm just wondering if it means that vampire is a poison damage unit now, which I think that's a given either way. But if it's biting, let's say I'm playing Inquisitor and I'm using my vampire to bite Inquisitor. Is my Inquisitor now doing poison damage? That's what my question would be. You can see right there, we just used our vampire to bite our Earth Elemental, so it's boosting him for 15 seconds. That's not going to do any merge rank down. That's the right side talent, correct? We bit a mime. Yeah, I definitely don't think I would be wasting my time using vampire to like bite these random things. Is he trying to have vampire and Earth Elemental be the normal? Oh, he's got Ivy in here too somewhere. Okay, Ivy. Oh, there he is. There's Ivy. So now, as soon as Ivy showed up, all the damage, all the monsters disappeared. Nobody wants to be friends with Ivy. They all ran away. There's a bunch of people hanging out. Ivy shows up. They all run away. All of a sudden, they heard their mom calling. They had to run back home. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know. I wonder why they pick the decks that we play against to be the decks that we play against. Boreas, Sharpshooter, Bombardier, Priestess. Is that the starter deck? No talent on any of those. Just kind of interesting to me. Meanwhile, we've got a max vampire over here. I guess we're just trying to showcase like the talents at a base level, I suppose. Puppeteer. I mean, clearly we're taking things out slowly. We got moved by Puppeteer. I always wonder that. Like it's not a good look. It's wave 1. You're playing this deck against a base level opponent, and we're getting hit by the first boss. I mean, the other gameplay, it was a bedlam. We got switched, and we had to like figure it out. Just seems a little interesting to me. But yeah, you can continue to see that vampire being used to bite our monsters, our units, boosting them. Okay, I still want to see the what was he called? The main vampire, the Lord. Thank you for bringing that up. That was perfect. Hungry Swarm. I'm looking for Hungry Swarm as well. Oh, you can kind of see it. You can kind of see it. They're over the board. It's giving you mana. It's giving you damage. That's so interesting with the bite, because now, so if I'm ever going to merge vampire, I've got to go unit to the vampire rather than vampire to the unit. Similar to when I'm using Flicker, right? If I go Flicker to the unit, it'll eat that unit. But if I go unit to the... or it might be vice versa. I don't know. You guys understand. Werewolf coming up again. They're really trying to push the werewolf here. I don't see vampire being a damage unit. If anything, it's a support unit. Maybe not even such a mana unit. It's still mana, but more support than just mana production, right? It's doing a little bit of damage. It's doing a little boosting. But I mean, we've got Ivy and Earth Elemental. I feel like we just need more in this deck. We got a pumpkin right there. We got mana flowing. Here comes the werewolf. So werewolf, it like comes down with scratches. Okay, so it hits like a rectangle. That first one, oh, it's doing like different rectangles. It's super interesting how that works. But look at how low our damage is, dog. Goodness me, our damage is low. So weird. But we don't have anything in this deck that's like damage per se, so it kind of makes sense. But okay, that's the end of the left side talents. The very last one that we're going to show is the right side talents. I don't even know where we're at in terms of video length, but if you guys are enjoying the longer videos and me taking the time to try and get as much of the content out there as possible, definitely let me know in the comments or whatever. Here we go. We're doing right side talents now. So now we're going to be actively seeing vampire bites, ranking down units. And right there was that. So we ranked down a unit, but it also sent a toxic vampire or bat to our opponent. But that opponent, it only lasts for like a half a second. So I wonder what that does. We're going to have to keep an eye on that. Okay. It's always so difficult to register all of the changes and additions and intricacies of each talent, you know, as soon as we queue in, right? There's just so much going on that we try our best to follow along, but there's a lot, right? And that's okay. That's kind of what you want. So let's see what this, so I'm using that vampire. So, oh, there is our, look at that guy. Is that the Lord at the top middle? It must be the Lord, right? Only a rank 1. It's this so interesting how they're playing this, right? We've got 2 rank 2s, 2 rank 1s. Now we got 3 rank 2s. I just don't see Vampire being the focal point of a deck where I'm merging constantly and, you know, focused on like harlequining vampires and using my, like, I feel like it's only going to be like a small aspect of your deck using vampire, and then you still gotta go different damage. You still gotta go something else that's gonna be deciding whether you're gonna win or lose games, right? I just don't see how vampire is like the main guy, but we're merging a lot. You can see at the top of the screen those bats are attacking some of the extra units up there, your opponent's units. Hitting our Ivy right there, hitting our Earth Elemental. This side definitely looks more worthwhile. Looks like our damage is actually going. We're sending stuff his way. I'm surprised, okay? Because remember, I guess we also get mana pretty heavily through Vampire, but I wouldn't think that any type of merging your own units down would be worthwhile. But hey, here we are after all. Here comes Werewolf once again. Have we gotten Puppeteer and then Werewolf every single time? Super interesting. We are getting a hit from Werewolf once there. And okay, so we're taking things out better, but still not as good as I would think. And none of these games finish. I think it's probably better that none of the games finish. It would take literally forever if they did. But yeah, you also don't see how they end up. So you don't really know how viable the deck or the combination is, right? I mean, there's definitely way more movement with the right side talents. And we have more lords. We've got 2 lords right there. And correct me if I'm wrong that those aren't lords and they're a different type of something. But our damage is way higher. You can just tell. I would just wish they would show like a snapshot at the end of the game of what the damage was. Is it all from Earth Elemental? Is it all from Vampire? You tell me. I don't know. It's probably just going to cut out. How did I know? How did I know? Fellas, let me know which one you're most excited about. Our next video, we're going to be talking about Riding Hood, the new legendary that's going to be coming to the game, which I think is really, really cool. The only clip that I saw was Riding Hood, you know, as the little girl in the red cape turning into a werewolf. So spoilers, maybe not, but Vampire as well as Portal Mage update coming out very, very soon. I would assume in the next, what's today? In the next week, because Halloween's just around the corner. But fellas, that is going to be the end of this YouTube video. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Go check out my TikTok. Go check out my games, and I'll check you guys out in tomorrow's video.